Alright, not only we got the new Seraph Snow, but also a lot of promos. So let's begin. But first, cards for the last few days. So let's start off with the Dokkovan stuff with a rare Blaze Maiden Sonya, which is a grade 2 with 10k power and skillless. Auto when placed on rearguard, if your Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, costs Soul Blast 1, this unit gets plus 10k power until the end of turn. It might not be that great, as it's just really a big beater for a Soul Blast, but it actually combos with another card, that being Blaze Maiden Tonya. Grade 1, 8k power and skillless. Auto rearguard, at the end of the battle that this unit boosts Sonya, cost Counterblast 1, retire all your rearguards in the same column as this unit, so itself and Sonya. Search your deck for one unit with one grade higher than your Vanguard, reveal it, and add it to your hand. Yes, it requires 2 cards just to search for your one card, but that one card could be your main boss unit, and luckily this is generic enough, so in future use, you might actually have use for this for Basagra, for example, because I do predict that Basagra might have a grade 4 unit eventually, and Basagra can call grade 1s from the drop zone. So I do see potential use for these 2 cards. Now with Dokkovan out, we start off with a Dragon Empire card, which is a rare Blaze Pole Monk Retsuji, grade 1, 8k power and skillless. Auto, when placed on rearguard, cost Counterblast 1, choose one card with the Overdress ability from your drop zone and put it to your hand. If your Vanguard is grade 4, countercharge 1. So basically, it's an Overdress Revivaler. I mean, it's not bad, and it kind of helps out sometimes for recycle, especially that you're going to be using arcs a lot, and if your cards get retired or intercept, nice way to recycle. And having that grade 4 restriction is not really too much of a big deal, since usually it's by turn 4 that some of your Overdress units will be at your drop zone. So making it free by then isn't really a problem. That's only if you play the new grade 4 Nirvana, by the way. Going on to Dark States, we first got a triple rare Brainwash Swirler, grade 1, 8k power and skillless. Auto, when placed on rearguard, soul charge 1. Extending soul charge, that's fine. Second skill, auto rearguard. When your card is put to your soul by soul charging, if your Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, this unit gets plus 5k power until the end of turn. Well, I guess during the thruster is back. And now to Super Saiyan Greedon, Shining Selfishness, grade 2, Blitz Order, and you play it by Soul Blasting 4. Choose one of your Vanguards, it gets plus 5k power until the end of the battle for each card in your damage zone. Since Greedon can end at 7, max will be 30k. I mean, it gets stronger the further you are closer to death, but Soul Blasting 4 can be a little costly, but it can save your ass. Next, for Cater Sanctuary, we got Fortune Reading, grade 2 normal order, and you play it by Counterblasting 1. Look at the top card of your deck, put it at the top and bottom, and then draw a card. It's kind of like a counterblast for a cycle, but this is basically giving an OTT effect for every single United Sanctuary / Cater Sanctuary deck. So, pretty good. Moving on to Brant Gate, we got Aurora Battle Princess Restraint Plenty, grade 2, 10k power and skillless. Auto, when placed on rearguard, soul charge 1 card for each card you have in prison. So if you need a lot of soul in prison, especially for future support, here you go. And then to Stokeia, we start off with a double rare, Transferring Soul Slice Dragon, grade 2, 10k power and skillless. Auto rearguard, at the end of your turn, if you played Alchemagic this turn, or attacked at least 5 times this turn, put this to soul to countercharge 1. Alright, this is actually pretty good for any Stokeia deck, at least at the moment, because Magnolia can do 5 attacks, the Flagberg deck can do 5 attacks, and it says Alchemagic as well, so meaning you can play this with Zorga. And not only that, it goes to Soul, and Soul is really heavy on Stokeia right now, at least for many decks. And adding a counter charge on top of that, that's pretty good. Yes, we do got Prize Trident for Flagbird, so you might not exactly play this in Flagberg, especially because this has to be at the end of the turn, but hey, it's generic. Finally, Corruption Observer Dragon. It's a common, but it's pretty good. It's a grade 3 with 13k power, and the skill is Auto Drop Zone. When your grade 3 or greater Vanguard is placed, you may call this to rearguard. Stokeia decks tend to mill quite a bit, so getting this off isn't that hard. Right at grade 3, you get something back. But what's really nice that it says when your Vanguard is placed, meaning that you could discard this for a Stride fodder, and then Stride on top of your Vanguard, and since now your grade 4 has been placed, you can call this from the drop zone, negating the cost of your Stride. This might be worth running. And now for the Tuesday stream. First, we're gonna start off with the V promos, the first one being for Makoth Malik, Curated Soul Angel, grade 1, 8k power and skillless. At rearguard, if your Vanguard is Makoth Malik, cost Counterblast 1, bind this card, choose the Makoth Malik from your soul, and put it to the top of your deck. But if you did not ride this turn, ride it instead. Alright, this solves some of the problems for Makoth Malik. 1. Makoth Malik heavily relies on you rewriting the regular Makoth Malik. And from Soul is not much of an issue because you're most likely going to be at Shin Makakmalek, leaving the regular Makakmalek still at Soul. And the other is that if you did ride the Makakmalek, you can put the Shin Makakmalek from your Soul to the top, giving you room for Makakmalek skill. So this for Makakmalek is a must play. Next for Hanzo, Stealth Dragon Gaio Koshin, grade 1 Aki Power and skills, Auto Drop Zone. When your grade 3 Vanguard is placed, cost counterblast 1, add this card to your hand, or choose a grade 3 from your Soul and put it to your hand. If you add it from Soul, bind this card. This is definitely very nice for Hanzo because for Hanzo, you want to continue rewinding between the two Hanzos. So just being able to pull it out of your Soul, back to your hand, the evolved form, that's pretty nice. But anyway, to the second skill, Auto, when returned to your hand by a card ability, cost Soul Blast 1, call 2 evil decoy tokens to open rear guards. Pretty nice as well, you're going to be bouncing quite a lot and you do want more tokens on the field. So must play for Hanzo. And now to the overdressed stuff, we start off with a Brand Gate card, Invasion Monster Azura Dawn. Grade 1, 13k power and skillless. Auto rearguard, when this card attacks, your opponent's attacking unit gets minus 2k power to end that battle. And then the second skill is pretty much the same thing. Auto rearguard, when this card is attacked, your opponent's attacking unit gets minus 2k power. I mean, it's okay, but no reason to run it. Next for Dragon Empire, Infestio Dragon. Grade 1, 8k power and skills. Auto rearguard, at the end of the battle that it boosts a Vanguard, if the boost units stand, cost Soul Blast 2, choose one of your opponent's front row rear guards and retire it. And then your Vanguard gets plus 5k power until the end of that turn. Definitely good for any Overlord deck. And potentially any other Dragon Empire restand deck. Next for Dark States, Tangled Vanara. Grade 1, 8 power and skills. Auto rearguard, at the end of the battle that this card boosts, cost put this unit to Soul, choose one of your units, gets plus 5k power to the end of the turn. It's okay, but not very necessary unless you're trying to clear the board for Dark States. Next for Brandgate, Carnadol Prima Kuluda. Grade 1, 8k power and skills. Auto rearguard, when placed, if your forward is Dark Knight, Soul Charge 1, Abyssal Dark Knight, Soul Charge 2. So if Soul ever becomes a problem for Orphis, definitely play this, too bad it's a promo. But it also has a second skill where, act rearguard, if your Abyssal Dark Knight costs Soul Blast 1, retire this unit, call Shadow Army token. It's an act, so that's nice. And the more tokens the better for Orphis. And since Orphis is starting to use a little more Soul, I really hope we get this card soon as a box topper. For Cater Sanctuary, Knight of Sorrow Grania. Grade 2, 90 power and skills. Count rearguard. During the battle that this card attacked, if your Vanguard is Blaster, this card gets plus 5k power. Okay, 14k beater. Second skill, Auto, when retired from rearguard for your Vanguard's ability, costs counterblast 1, add this card to your hand. Negating those minuses for blasters, especially in the Cater Sanctuary deck, really helps out a lot. Another card I really wish for a box topper. Next for Stalkea, Sylvan Horned Beast Momorna. Grade 1, 8k power and skills. Auto, when retired from rearguard during your opponent's turn, if your Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, search your deck for one card with the same name and add it to your hand. I mean, it negates some of the minus, but not that great because it relies on your opponent to retire this thing. Finally, for Lyrical Monasterio, Hacha Mecha Girl Farseal. Grade 1, 8k power and skills. Auto rearguard. When placed, if you have 3 or more rearguards, this card gets with 5k power to the end of the turn. I mean, 13k beater, but you have a lot more important cards to run. And now to the prison cards. We start off with Aurora Battle Princess Suppressed Gleamer. Grade 1, 8k power and skills. Count rearguard. If your Vanguard is Seraph, this card gets plus 5k power. 13k beater, that's fine. Second skill, Auto, when placed on rearguard from hand, if you have 3 or more cards in prison, search your deck for one card with the same name as this card and call it to rearguard. Very nice plus engine here, especially as a 13k beater, so it's a definite must run for Seraph Snow, especially because they tend to lack rearguards at some cases. And now to evolve Seraph Snow, Aurora Fear Princess Seraph Purelight. Grade 4, 13 power, triple drive, remember that, with the skill of Auto, when placed on Vanguard, costs counterblast 1, Soul Blast a Seraph card. Your opponent chooses 2 cards from each from their hand, Soul and Rearguard, and imprison them. You can take away 2 cards from Soul. That's already very powerful, but adding hand on top of that, that can be insane. Rearguard's not as insane, but you can imprison up to 6 cards. Yeah, that's quite a lot, especially because some of your cards want you to have 5 imprisoned cards. And speaking of having a lot of imprisoned cards, second skill, count Vanguard during your turn. All your front row units gets plus 5k power for every 2 cards in prison. If there are 10 or more, your whole front row also gets a crit. First skill already imprisons up to 6, And by the time that you reach grade 4, you will most likely have 2 or 3 imprisoned cards. And of course, combining with the other skills, I'm pretty sure reaching 10 is not much of an issue. So if you reach the 10, you get a 25k buff for your whole front row and an additional crit. Yeah, this is pretty much a finisher card here, and I kind of see that as a trend for most of these new grade 4 units, as these are all meant to push the game. But if your opponent does manage to survive, your opponent is not going to be able to bail out all those prison cards. So this is overall a very good upgrade and definitely a finisher. So that's it for these reveals. What do you guys think about the new Aurora Battle Princess Seraph Snow? Along with all these promos, which I really hope they will be box toppers because I really want some of these promos. But for Aurora Battle Princess, really like the new card. Pretty insane. Let's see how strong Bastion and Bruce will be. But in that, see you all next time.